Let me check if I'm live. Let me check if I'm live. Let me check if I'm live. Yeah, it's live. So, yeah, today is the sixth day I'm learning Jink. Jink is a HTTP framework. Yeah, my boy going crazy. Oh, Filthy, how are you doing, bro? I hope you're good, man. Yeah, today is my sixth day learning Jink, and Jink is a golden framework used for building web services. Use it for building web services such as APIs. Yeah, Abdullah. How are you doing, that aside? I hope you're good, man. I need more people to watch my live stream so that my subscribers can increase. Do you know, the last time I created the live stream, I gained almost like 15 subscribers. I'm so grateful for it, man. It's not bad. So I'm hoping today also I'm supposed to get I'm supposed to get like 20 subscribers, hopefully. Singer Martin D. Yeah, Mubarak. Yo, how are you doing, man? I hope you're good. I'm learning Jing. So I'll be documenting how I'm learning and all the steps that I do so that I can all the steps that I'm doing, all steps that I'm taking to improve my software engineering journey. Good luck with your journey. Yeah, thank you, bro. Thank you for supporting me. I appreciate that. So let me get back to the business now. Yesterday I didn't stream. Yesterday it was Sunday, so I had to skip it and start streaming today. But in the last stream, I tried to refactor the code, and I refactored many things in the code. First of all, it was let me try to open it. Let me open the IDE. Yeah, I think it's open. It's here. Alright, let me just open it again. Open. In Golem projects, and then is it this? Probably this. No, not this. Is in software engineering, Golem, and then it is in Jing. Yeah, I think this is the one. Yeah, this is the project. Let me open it. So this is what I did last time. Last time I tried to refactor the code, and then I was having all the code within main.go. So I refactored most of the code, and mostly what I refactored was the routes. I refactored here. I think the first route, which is pink, I included the middleware. The middleware was there. And then what I refactored the code in is I used the user controller and then a method called pink. This is where the logic concerning pink is. And then I added a little bit of documentation on top of it. And then including the create or creating a user, and then the search. Yeah, these are all the routes that I refactored. And today I'll be refactoring not the model, but I'll be refactoring the middlewares. The middlewares are here. Let's say, where is it? I have this middleware logo, and then is admin. Yeah, these are the two middlewares I will refactor within this code. Yeah. So to do that, I need to open this thing beside. I need to open the roadmap that I'm following to master Golang. It's supposed to be here, and then it was this. So this is the roadmap. Actually, for me to learn something new, this is my own method of learning things. I first get the roadmap. After I get the roadmap, what I have to do is to list to save my roadmap, and the app I'm using is called eraser.io. It's just a note app, and you can also use it for creating diagrams like UML, all these backends diagram. So you can use Obsidian, you can use Notion. It depends on what you're using. So this is the note app that I'm using for now. And then this is the roadmap. This is what I got, and then this is what I will be learning from Go. It is just the beginning. I learned Gin, and Gin is part of the RESTful APIs. So I'm learning RESTful APIs, and after learning that, I have to learn gRPC. It's just like it's another way of using REST APIs, but it's faster than REST APIs. And I learned also Postgres. Yeah, Postgres I already learned it, and migration. So my method is like this. For me to learn something, or for me to, let's say, you can learn something, but if you don't apply it, the knowledge doesn't stick. If you don't apply what you're learning, the knowledge doesn't stick. So what can you do? What you can do is you can look for something, or look for any scenario that you can implement what you learn. And what I'm learning right now, I'm learning it in project based. It's not actually a real project, but it's something that can help me to internalize what I'm learning. That's why I'm trying to like get my hands dirty and type code. So that's the best way for you to learn something new. You need to have a structured roadmap of learning, of what you are learning, and then you need to also get your hands dirty and do the work. So this is it, and this is the phase one. Phase one, I'm already done with the phase one. I did most of the things here. I learned Go basics such as interface, Go routines, channels, and models. I learned all of them, and then I also did some Go tooling like Delve and Go CLI, Go C lint. I also did it. And so what I'm left with is to create a small deliverable. That deliverable is just like any project, just any simple project. So I'm trying to create a HTTP API. And after creating that HTTP API and structuring it in the best way as possible, I will have to incorporate unit test. I need to also like learn unit test. So yeah, let's get into building. I'll be refactoring the middleware. I'll be refactoring this middleware into separate file. So my method of learning this is, as I said, I have to get my hands dirty doing the work, but I have to go to Gemini first. I have to like get into conversation with the AI that will help me to implement this. It's not the AI that is going to implement it, but I'm the one going to implement it. So I need more ideas. This is the best way you can utilize AI to learn something new. So I can just tell the AI is that I have this middleware function. What? Let's say, how can I refactor this inside its own directory. To refactor this properly in Go project, you should follow this standard package-based architecture. This keeps your min.go clean and makes it middleware reusable across different routes group. Here is step-by-step breakdown. So we have our root level, that's the root directory, and then we have min.view, and then we have a min.go. I'm used to view a lot. min.go, and then we have a middleware. We have the middleware, and then we have let's say if it is auth, we call it auth. Okay, so this is where our middleware will be, and then okay, let's go. Then we document it here like this. Is admin check if the name parameter in the URL matches the admin name. Logic extract name. So this is how you create that. You need to have a function, the middleware function, and then we have gin.handler function. Okay, and then return this. Okay, this is just the implementation. After that, the most important part is here, how to utilize it within our min.view, our min.go. We have admin route is equals r.group admin.use this. Okay. Alright. So this is where we are supposed to be careful. Okay, alright. We just need to say middleware dot is admin, then it's done. Depending on the route we want to use it. So let's go back to our application and see where are we utilizing this is admin route, is admin middleware. I think I was utilizing it somewhere, but I removed that route. It was the route that is having route params. But anyways, let's refactor this first. So within our middlewares here, we need to create a new file, and then we call it let's see, let me just call it admin.go. I need to add the package. Within our min.go, we need to just get this code and then put it within this middleware. Yeah, so far there's nothing we can do, there's only that. So within our min.go, if I want to utilize this, I can just say, let's say I want to utilize that middleware here. I can just say middleware is admin.go, and then then here we have it was user controller like this, and then I think we need comma here. So if I want to utilize it here, I can use it like that, but I'm not planning to utilize it here. So that's one way of refactoring it just. And then the second thing I need to refactor is this my logo here. Let's go to middlewares and then say, let me create a new Go file. and then say here logger.go add, then let me get this logger, and then go to logger.go, put it here, and then I go to mean.go. So this is where I was using logger.go. Let me remove it. This is just, it's too simple to utilize it. So it's middleware. Yeah, this is it. So my mean.go now looks clear. And then I don't think I need this because I have it in create already. Yeah. So my mean.go is clean and clear. So the next thing is I need to configure my database within the config. Let's go to the chat and then communicate with it also about this. Let's start starting from here. Here. So we'll have to modify most of the parts of the application later because they utilize that database. Say I have this database connection within main.go. I'm aiming to change this to config. Let me see what is the best name we can give it. Config is config, then database dot within config, and then let's say database dot go. How can I do this? Let's go. To refactor your database logic, you should move it into delegated package. Okay, that's what I want to do. In Go, to use a variable or a function from different folder, it must be exported, and it starts with capital letter. Yeah. In Go, if you want to make a function and a variable public, the name must start with capital letter. Here is how to move your connection logic to config database.go. Okay, so this is our root level directory. Then we have main.go, and then we have the config folder that we want to use. Okay, and then we have database.go. Okay, then model. I'll have that. So not two major changes. The variable is now db, which is capitalized, and the function is connect database, which is capitalized. Yeah, so we have to capitalize both of them because we will be exporting them and use them in other folders, in other files. So that is it. It has to be capitalized. All right. So within our config, we import all these connection packages, which I already did them within the main. And then this is supposed to be capitalized, and this is supposed to be capitalized. Okay, only like that. Now you import the config package and call the function using package prefix. Okay, so within our main.go, config.connect to database. Simple like that. Feel like this refactoring is getting more simpler. It's too simple now. Not like there's one thing I realized when learning programming is that in every phase that you're learning programming, there is something that when you start learning is kind of easy. Like let's say you start learning to code. Let's say it's your first time to learn to code. It will be very easy for you to, like, let's say configure some stuff, learn some stuff, and then when you reach in the middle, you get this imposter syndrome where like you feel like everything is getting challenging. You want to do this is challenging. You want to do this is challenging. So After that, when you leave that stage, you feel like, okay, when you manage to persevere and leave that stage, you can be having the bigger picture of programming, and you can have the bigger picture of programming, and you can know, like, let's say you can be very intuitive. If you see something, you can just use your intuition and try to like figure out the stuff. So I feel like now, since I have done this, not only this, I've done other things, I'm kind of seeing this as too intuitive to me. Like, let's say getting this, refactoring this code is not, it's something new to me in Go, but it's not new to me in programming in general. So I can just use my intuition to like change things. That's why it's very important. Let's say if you are learning programming, you need to stick to one thing first, and then you have to, let's say you get the imposter syndrome, you have to like work hard so that you can get out of that stage, because each and everyone who learns programming, in some point of your life you will have imposter syndrome, where you feel like, am I really going to make it? Am I really going to be good at coding? I feel like most of the people are feeling that way. They say, this coding, I cannot do it. Maybe I'm not smart enough to do this. But in actual sense, there's no one who's smart enough than the other. We all just have to, like, let's say, you need to put in time, you need to also put in time, and you need to also like not learn something that is too challenging or something that is too easy. You need to like follow the progression slowly by slowly. So this is it. Let me refactor this. I have to cut this from here. Let me cut it. Okay. Now I need to cut everything up to his side. Within the config, I have to create a file that is database.go, right? And then it will tell me immediately to add a package. Okay, I'm kind of getting the flow now. So I have to paste everything here. I have this DB. So since everything is here, it can be exported the other side. So I can go to min.go, and instead of having connection here like this, I can just do, let's say, config db. I don't want to use db, I need to use the connection first. Config connection, and the db here I have to also use config db, like this. So look at how the code is now. It's looking clean, looking too clean, because I have refactored everything. Everything is being refactored. So the last thing that I need to do here in this is to, let's say, when I go to this, as you can see, I'm putting the credential for the database here. So that is not a good thing. I need to like have a .env where I can put these credentials. I need to create a .env file and then put these credentials in it. And then let me see. So far I've done most of the things. Let me go back to the roadmap and see. Let's say I'm done with this. What should I do next? I have two roadmaps. Okay, one is here. That one is giving me the bigger picture, and then this is the detailed breakdown of the bigger picture. Okay, here I have the bigger picture of how Gin up. Okay, let me leave this aside. So let me go to the breakdown of it. SQL basics, I did it, and GORM, I did it, and crowd operation, that's what I did right now. Most of these routes as crowd operation. Okay, and then this environment variable, I didn't work on it, so I need to work on this environment variable, and then after directory layer, separate your code into folders and models, repositories. I did this, but here I'm not using repository pattern, so I have an idea about repository pattern, but I'm not using it here, so there's no problem. One thing also I need to do is route grouping. I need to do route grouping. And then this is the production phase now. Let's say if I have authentication, I'm not working on authentication, but I can make another service. Okay. Error handling, proper HTTP status code. Okay, this is also one thing I need to learn. And then unit testing, right? Unit test to make sure your logic doesn't break when changes happen. Then the final thing I will learn is to dockerize this service. Wrap your application to Docker so it runs exactly the same on your Mac and it doesn't and it does on the server. Yeah. So this is what I'm going to be learning right now. Getting the .env. So now let's just have a casual conversation with this, and then we can get the ideas of how to do it, and then after we can implement it. How can I use .env here? If you don't know what is .env is just like a file. It's just a file that is anything that starts with dot. It means that file is hidden. You can try there in your computer. You name a file with dot and then you put the name. That file will be hidden. So .env is a file that will be that is used to put the credentials such as passwords, your API keys, so that you cannot push them to the server. You don't need to be that person who pushes the API keys in the server, who pushes the API key in GitHub, and hackers will look up for it, and then will use your API key and will spam your website with a lot of requests. So you need to have .env, and when you have .env is not being pushed in GitHub. It's always in .gitignore. So this is it. We need to create a file and name it .env, and then we put our credentials here. Okay, security tip: add .env to your gitignore. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. You need to add your .env to gitignore file so that you don't accidentally push your password to GitHub. Okay, you should load the environment variable as very first thing in your main.go. Okay, let's see how do we load it now. So in our main.go, this is how we load it. Okay. I think there is a package called go.env. Alright. So we have to use this package, go.env, and then after loading go.env, we can connect to the database. Alright. So this is it. So within our database, we have to also load go.env. Host is equals to, this is how we load the env. This is how we load the env. Alright, let's create the .env first within our application. .env in most projects it is always in the root directory. So I think I have to put this in the root here. Then I say file, then is what? .env, .environment variable. Okay. So did it go to config? No, I don't need it in config. I need it in the root and put it here. Yeah, I think it's now in the root. So let me get my database credentials. Is it not testing? Okay. Yeah. So this is my database credentials. .env is all similar in all programming languages. They're all similar. So this is it. We have the DB user, password, name, and port. So the next phase is how can I use this .env within our application, and that's how we did it here. We need to install this package. I think you should load the .env first. Let me first see whether this package is supposed to be installed. So let me say go, let me copy the name of the package and then install it here. To install packages in Go, I think you just say go get, and then the name of the package, I think, the URL. Let's see, if it fails, then we go and search it. Downloading, okay, it has been added. This is kind of simple. This is how you install this. Okay, now let's utilize it here. Let's utilize it within our main.go. Within the main.go, no, not actually main.go. This within the DB. Let me see what this thing says. I saw something like, okay, you should load the environment variable as very first step in your main.go. Okay, we have to load it within our main.go, and this is how we do it. Create a variable, this in case there is error, to save the error within this variable, and then we load. So if error is nil, we log in the error, and then now we start the connection. All right, let's first go to this, to our main.go and load the env. So here, before the connection, let me just put a simple comment. I'll copy this convention, and then there's no return, we only have some description, and then let's call it load the .env file. So to load it, I need to have a variable to hold the error, and then let's see the name of that. The name of the package, that is go.env. go.env.load. This is how to load it, and it's being imported there. So I can say if there is error, and then I say this. Then after we say error loading this file. But if there is no error, we proceed with the connection, and then we have to go to our database and get the environment variables, here. So within the database, this is how you get it. You need to have a variable host, and then the name of the, let me copy one, and then we shall utilize, we shall see the example from it. Let me put it up here. Okay, here. We have host, and we are getting the host. So let me see, let's say I got all of them. What should I do? All right, this is how we do it. Host. Okay, we replace these variables, this percentage s, with whatever thing we got from here. Okay, so let me get this line of code first, because it will help me here also. Let me put this here on top, and then I load this from up here. Let's say the host. Yeah, the host, I got the host, and then let's copy this and call it a user. That is the user of the DB user, and then let me paste this. That is the password, and then the DB name. Okay, do I have the port? Port port is automatic. Finally, I need the DB name. DB, I called it DB name. which is db name. So this is supposed to be the user, db user, like this. Have db user, db name, which I'm utilizing them here. So here is supposed to just be percentages. Here I actually don't need this now because I already have the DNS file. Yeah. So this is it. This is how you utilize the .env. Fingers crossed. Let me hope this thing is working because I have done a lot of changes. I did not confirm whether they are working. So what I did is I refactored the middlewares, and then I also refactored the .env file. I refactored the connection within .env file. So I think one thing that I forgot is within controller, user controller, here I'm supposed to connect to database, right? Let's say there's something that connects to database, so I have to change the configuration. Okay, I have a user controller, which is u.db. So let me check here that user controller, that controller function. Okay, I have the controller. Okay, there's no problem because it's getting the connection from config here immediately. So let me say go run min.go. I hope I don't have errors. This thing is delaying to compile. Okay. It's kind of like I don't have any error. Let me try one. Let me try to change this. Okay. Let me open Bruno and then try to run one request. Okay, let me go to Go API, and then get. This is great. Add. On these different. This will give me an error. Okay, only this. The other one will give me. Okay, access denied. It's kind of working. Let me see. Then let me check here. Within the logs, I have a successful get request with status 200. Yeah, status 200, which means start. Okay, so let's see. Which means we are telling this. When you go to /ping, it should return for this. Okay. /ping. Why is it returning? Why is it returning different? Port 8080 /ping. Where is this access denied coming from? Message hello. Oh, the reason why it's saying access denied is I tried to I tried to put the middleware within. I tried using this middleware. That means our middleware is now working, and this middleware checks for the name. So if you don't have that name, it will not proceed with the next request. So let's say I remove the middleware, it will give me the right message that I need. Let me run this again. So let me try to run this. Yeah, it's giving me the message that I need. Oh, I've done a lot here. I've done almost this application now can, yeah, it's kind of close to production level application. Let's say if you are developing something productive, but this is just for experimental. So I'll be utilizing the same pattern to make a service, and that service is supposed to be for my final year project, which is Focus Flow. And what I worked on it today, I worked on OAuth. I tried to configure Google authentication. So I tried to configure Google authentication, and it was working. I also tried to configure some documentation for it, and the documentation is here. Let me see if I have the documentation here. I tried creating documentation for individual functionalities. Let's say users, and then not password reset. Let's say I need register. This is how the documentation will look like. And what this documentation does is, let's say if you try to create something like this in your application, which is a must. Okay, you're not the one who will create this, but you will just comment your application, comment your functions, and then the doc generator will generate for you the website. This is just a static website with information about the function that I want to be described. So this is how it is. This is how these generators work. And the doc generator that I'm using is called TypeDoc. TypeDoc allows you to generate a documentation based on the comment of your TypeScript. So as I was saying, my final year project was built with inertia, but due to inertia running inertia in a Docker container, so it will become, it's kind of heavy, and it causes a lot. So it needs a lot of it's heavy. It's easier to create, but it's not easy to maintain, or it's not scalable. Let's say I tried to migrate the application from inertia to Nux. I tried to migrate only the front end. I tried to separate the front end from back end so that I can have back end as different services, and it was actually working good. So this is it. I actually have it in production. This is the local host version. Let me open the production version, which is this. This is built with Nux and running on Vercel. So today I worked on logging in with Google. In the past, when the application was full, it was working with I had two authentication methods. I had GitHub and Google, plus just normal authentication. But I realized that this application is not built for developers alone. It's built for everyone. So, and most of people have a Google account, so most of the people can just log in using their own Google account instead of adding more complication. So my goal with this application is that I need to make it as simple as possible. Even onboarding should be as simple as possible, as if you don't have to do much. You just have to go with the flow. Let's say the main thing I will be creating is, let's say, a course. If you want to create a course, it should be as simple as possible. So if you want to create a course, you can just, the feature that I will add is using AI, you can just use a chatbot, communicate with the chatbot. I want to create this and this course. So it will go to YouTube, and it will go to other resources, search for the courses, and then we'll give you the best course. And what sets this application apart is that it structures your course. So it will put your course in the best way as you need, so that if you want to learn something, you don't have to go and look for the resources wherever they are. You can just come in one place and then just start learning straight away. So let's go back to what I was working on now. So I have done most of the things here. I think we need to go back to the roadmap and give us a sense of direction of where should we go after this. So if I feel like what I have done is enough, I want to utilize the whole of this knowledge in making a service, building a service. because I have method.env, I have the route files, I have the models, and then I have everything. What if I turn this into a meaningful service? The next thing also that I need to do is to group all these routes. Are you seeing this? I need to group them into, like, let's say search route, and then also after grouping this route, I need to also use this cmd file to run the application. Okay, let's first configure the min.go to be in the cmd, because it showed us that we need to have cmd. I have a cmd directory. How can I put main.go within it? Okay, moving min.go into cmd directory is a standard way of organizing Go projects, often called the standard Go project layout. This is especially useful if you eventually want to have multiple binaries like API separate background workers in project. Here is how to set it up correctly. Usually inside CMD, you create a folder name after your application, e.g. server API. Okay, so inside CMD you must have a name, let's say server. Okay, adjust your imports inside your server. Your package must still be min. However, when you import your internal folders like config or middleware, you must use the full path. Let's say example cmd this. Okay, let me just see one example from here. Config connect to database. Okay, so here we are importing the full path from note that see the path warning. So now you can just run the server direct. Go run, and then to build, go build -o binary server, and then main.go. Okay, this is just kind of simple. Let's try to do that. Within our cmd, we need a directory. Let's say I need to call it server. New folder, then I need to call it server. Within that server, I need a Go file, that is main.go. Add the package, and I need to copy whatever I have here in this main.go. Copy it, put it here. So let me see what is causing the errors. Generate type, should have a single top level value. Okay, I'm getting error here. Okay, let me try to, I think this is the one causing the error. Let me delete it now because I don't need it anymore. Delete. Yeah, I've deleted that. And then let's fix this. think that is the import issues here. Generate go type from JSON. Okay. Let's see generate. You should have a single top level value. Okay, let me paste the JSON here. Which JSON? Which JSON should I paste there? Okay, let me just try to get this and then try to, let's say here is my main.go. So there are a few syntax and logical issues in main.go that prevents it from compiling. The most obvious is you have a duplicate package declaration import and include a reference C which is likely, don't need it. Okay, the correct here is clean and refactored here. Why is it taking away my directories? You should include a reference to C which is likely, you don't need it. Duplicate package name, you need an package. Then go back to the code and see the duplicate package name it is talking about. So I don't need package here. No, it's not gonna work. Package main.go. So let me see what the error is here. Const func import type. Wow. Good. Okay. I need a way of copying this and then let's see, this is the error I'm getting. Is there error I'm getting. The error occurs because in Go package declaration must be very fast taking your file than the comment. If you have a stray character or duplicate package line, okay, this is supposed to be package and then the imports, right? I have two package. Maybe I have a package here. Yeah, this is the one causing the error. And then I have this import that are duplicate also. Remove them. Yeah. So I don't know why I was not seeing those. Alright, let me try to compile the code. Let me try to compile it and then see. Go run server. Yeah, that is it. Because we're inside server. We're inside server and then main.go. I hope it compiles. I hope it compiles without any error. Oh, it is compiling. Yeah. The port is undefined using port 8080. So I'm not including the port here. I include the port 8080 by default. Yeah. Oh, so I have to. You cannot use port 8080 int as type. Alright. It's not important, but let me make sure the application is running first. It's working first. It works and everything works. So now that this is working, the next thing is, I'm curious, I want to know if there is an auto reload in Go here. Let me see. Is there auto reload and Go so that when I make changes the API is recompiled. I want to see that. If it is possible, then it will be great. Go does not have a built-in watch mode like Node.js on X because Go is compiled language. However, the most popular and powerful tool used by the community for this is Air. Okay, we have a tool called Air. Air will watch your file, and the moment you press save, it kills the whole process and recompile your code and restart the server in about seconds. Then that is good. So yeah, I need to work with Air now. Run this command to install Air, and then Air, I need go to your project root where Go move this. Okay, this creates a hidden.air terminal. This file tells Air how to rebuild your application. Since you move your app into CMD server, you must tell Air where to find it. So inside this file, we need to, okay, this is what will be compiled, and then this is, okay, this is what will be run. And then now instead of running go run, you can just say Air. It's kind of intuitive. So let me try to install that package. That package will help me in auto reload. So to install it, I think I have to install from here. Let's try to install it. Air is being installed. So let's see what next. After installing it, I need to initialize it. So I can say Air init. So I think the config file is being created. That is air.this. So within this file, I think that is where I will, within this CMD, I think this is where I include the directory where my main.go is. So after doing this, change this line. Okay, in CMD I have to go to, we'll build this, and then this is our main.go. Let me copy this and replace that one with it. I hope it will work. So let me replace the CMD. So it will go to go build. Okay, to run this command, when I just say Air, it will run go build -o. That is the main. Then the file I want to build is inside cmd main.go. Okay. Alright. So let's see, there's nothing. So let me kill the process and then just run Air. So for me to run my server, I can just say Air. Wow, it's building. It's even running. Damn. So I've done most of the things today. Let me try to go to my API. It works. I'll try to go to /create. Create will give me a server error. I need to fix them. Let's see, is it called create? Go to main.go first and see. Yeah, it is create. The reason why it's giving me that error is it's telling me 404. Oh, how is it? How did I name it? Create. Let me see it. Let me go to the middleware. Let me go to the real controller, user controller, and then we have this get all users and discretion. Check the health. Okay. Controller function to get all the users, and then controller function to get the user within it. Controller function to create. create a user is there. Okay, let me try to use it to create. Okay, I don't have get all users. Let me see. This is search. This post method. This post. This is get. Okay, let me try search. Slash search. Yeah, it is searching, but I did not handle it in the backend very well. But anyways, these are just like logical problems which can be solved. But I'm still wondering why is create not working. I think it's duplicate entry or something like that. This is search. Good. Okay, I'm gonna try to create a get method. Let me just copy the route only, and then I say here. Let's say get. Let's say I'm gonna call it create or get. Okay, let me just call it index for the meantime. User controller dot. Then here I can just say get all users. I think it's this get users. Is it get users or get all users? User controller, get user. I have a method also called get all users. This is search, create a user, get user, get users. Yeah, it's supposed to be get users. Go to main.go, then fix that issue. Okay, it's correct, but only I don't have to call it direct. Let me try to go to index. Let me confirm whether the application has rebuilt. This is different now. I was surprised, man. This is not the one I'm working on. I was working on Golang. Okay, let's see. Did it save? Did it refresh? So the reason why it was giving me error, it was in the create. I was entering a duplicate entry. What I was creating was already created, so it cannot create it twice. The email already exists. I see the get method works. Wow, I'm moving on well. So I created most of the things. I think the next thing is what I will do is to create something useful with all this knowledge now. And what I'm planning is to create one service. Let's say here, one service of this application, that is the course service. The course service, I built it with Laravel before. So I'll try to migrate it to Go, that is Gin. And then I will use Postgres, and I will host it in Supabase. So, but before I create it, I need to also I need to know how to package this first. I need to package it within Docker container. I need to set up CI/CD pipeline using GitHub Action, so that when I just push to the main branch, it should build the Docker image. It should after building the Docker image, it should push it into Docker Hub, and I will also add a way to deploy it directly into the EC2, because I'm just using EC2 to deploy the Docker container direct. At first, I was using Kubernetes. Kubernetes is a container orchestration software or technology, but using Kubernetes is too costly, very, very costly. It's very costly. So I just left it and say, no, I have to, I will just, because I was just why the reason why I was using Kubernetes is to experiment and to learn more things. So I'm done experimenting with it. Unless I have that money, then I will go to Kubernetes and use it. But if you don't have money, you can just use this normal thing. It's not necessary. But if you want to experiment, you can experiment. And also, let's say if you're interested in cloud, I found a link in our subgroup. That is our school WhatsApp group, and I signed up to that link, and it says that the link says that there's a Kubernetes course, free course for free African Kubernetes course. You have to sign up for it. I signed up for it, and then they say they will give me a response within February. No, yeah, in the beginning of February, just I think 2 weeks from now. That's when even the course will start. I did not inquire more whether the course is in person or is virtual, but most probably it's going to be virtual. But I guess you'll benefit a lot from learning it. So since I have done most of the things here, I think I need to, because I have done most of the things here, I think I need to only what I can only do is I have routes, I have models, I have middlewares, I have a config, and then I also separated the application. So I can easily utilize this within I can easily implement a feature within this as a service for that application. But I need to also learn how to configure Docker image, how to Dockerize this, how to use Docker image. How can I get a Docker image out of this? So if I can do that, that will be good. And then I can also things concerning unit testing, I will learn it ahead when I'm building a project. Unit testing with Go, I will learn it ahead, because in the roadmap here is showing me a lot of things, but I feel like most of the things are not necessary right now. Most of the things you learn them when you're building real world project. Like let's say all these I'm done with them. All this I'm done with it. Maybe route grouping, I did not do it. I'm supposed to do it. Route grouping, I'm supposed to do it. Custom middleware, I've done custom middleware. Then the production phase, like I said, I'm not doing JWT because I already have authentication on the application. So if I want to experiment with it, I can do it. I can experiment with it personally. Error handling, send a proper HTTP request. I feel like I've done this. Unit testing, I will do it when I'm building the application, when I'm building the service. But I can wrap up with Docker. Yeah, I can easily integrate Docker image to this so that I can wrap up with it, with this gin journey before I build a serious project with it. So I need to do route grouping, and then Docker image, and then putting this into Docker image. So after that I will wrap it. I will build a service now. I will start building a serious service with it. That is the course service. And then while I'm building the service, I can experiment with, let's say if I need to experiment with a gRPC, I need to also integrate the event-driven architecture, but I will be mostly using RabbitMQ. I connected RabbitMQ with just Core Go without any framework, but I feel like they're all the same. I will use RabbitMQ for my service workers and for also intercommunication between services, because I'll be having two services. That is the auth service, which is in built with different technology, and then the core service with different technology, and then also the AI MCP service. The AI MCP service will be built with TypeScript. I wanted to try Python, but I feel like I can use TypeScript because I found out that there is JDK for TypeScript with MCP. That MCP I will be using it to that is what will help me. That is what will help the user search for courses. Let's say I need a course. I will just type within my chatbot, I need this kind of this and this and this course. It will show me list of courses. After showing me those list of courses, I can just select which one I need to add to my course, which one I need to leave out, just like that. So I need an MCP service. I need a MCP or chatbot service. And then there's one thing here also I need to also learn is Redis. Redis, that is for rate limiting. I need to also learn rate limiting. Let's say there are so many, let's say somebody tried to make denial of service attack on the application. Denial of service attack is something like, let's say a hacker can simulate many requests to the application to slow down your application. If your application is slow, then it can deny you service, then they can easily exploit your application. You need to also consider that hackers will be there on the application. So within the security, you need to learn rate limiting. So rate limiting, and then these are outside Learning Go. We have load balancing, which I have done, horizontal, and this scaling I also did it. Event driven architecture, distributed transaction. I feel like I've never done this. I need to do it. Sounds interesting. So yeah, I need to wrap up this by just doing the route grouping. Let me see what is the time. Doing the route grouping, and then tomorrow I'll come in with Docker, Dockerizing this application, and also setting up the CI/CD pipeline. So if I'm done with it, but actually tomorrow I have to plan the application first, plan what I will be learning, plan what I will be building with this. After planning what I will be building live with this, I will I will start all the configuration live from the deployment, because the first thing you do, if you know SDLC, is you need to deploy your application. You need to plan. After plan, you need to provide all the environment necessary for your application to deploy before you start even implementing of anything. Implementing anything new. So you need to follow the SDLC. So tomorrow will be just the whole of tomorrow will be planning day. I'll be planning the application, planning whatever service I need to build, creating the Jira tickets, writing the software requirements document. All of that I have to do them tomorrow for this service, and also deploying this, and also setting up the CI/CD pipeline for this. So tomorrow will be a very interesting day. I hope I can find everyone there. But before I wrap up this live stream, I need to route group this to be /API/users, something like that. To do this, I think let me just take this comment and then I put it here. API description here. Let me say these are all the routes that belongs to the user. Routes that belong to the user. So let me go back to this. Let me just say, how can I group the user routes? Grouping routes in Gin is done using r.group method. This allows you to organize your API by resources, e.g. user, post, auth, and this. So I can just do user group is equals to r.group this. Okay, and then I can just say user group.get user group dot whatever thing I need to do here. All right, it's just kind of simple. So I will not be using, I will not even be needing the whole of this documentation, because most of them will just be, I'll just get complete documentation here. I'll just put the documentation on top. Yeah, these are all the routes. So what I will do is I will put this on top first. No, I will let me get this and then put it here. Yeah. And then I can say R, and then I can just say here user. I say user routes, user route equals to r dot group user, right? And then here it's supposed to be like this, and then I have to just put this within here, and then replace this with user route instead of using r. User route dot get. Here also I need user route dot create, and then user route dot search, and then user route dot index. So this application is becoming as concise as it should be. Let me see, I have one error. Where is that error? There is not even an error. It's just stripping, man. Yeah. So that is it. This is for user route. And then instead of calling it load, let me say these are all the routes that belongs to the user. Yeah. These are all the routes that belong to the user. I feel like I don't like seeing this here. I want this to be as clean as possible, like this. But anyways, it can be there. This is for loading the .env, right? Loading the .env, connecting to data, and this. Yeah. We are doing this in order to use user controller. And then this is the default gin server. So this is it. I've route group everything. Everything is in. I've route group. Added these routes into the group. So tomorrow, should I do it tomorrow or today? I have to go in with it, man. I have to go today. I have to dockerize this. I have to add this as into a Docker container. I have to dockerize this and try to deploy it. I'm ready to take the challenge. Let me see. How can I dockerize this, the whole application? To dockerize a Go application properly, we use multi-stage build. This keeps your final image small, about 5 to 20 MBs. Yeah. So we need our application to be 5 to 20 MBs. It contains the compiled binary, not the entire Go compile and source code. Since you have a database Postgres, we will use Docker Compose to run both the API and the database together. No. The database is Postgres, but I want to use Supabase for this. I want to try to use Supabase. I want to use Supabase for this. So that I don't want my database. I want my database to be centralized. I don't want it to be as a Docker image. Yeah, I want to use it I want to use my database as a separate service, I will use manage database. So, okay, this is how it is done. In your project root, create a Docker file. Okay, Docker file. Not that we build within this. So, this is what we'll be needing to build it. Stage 1, colon alpine as a builder. Okay, this is the image, the runtime we'll be using, and then we install the application. apk add -- git go mode, go init, then run the build, alpine latest, and then expose it at port 8080, and then cmd.run this. So it's super simple. This file will manage both Go API and your Postgres. So let me say I want to use Superbase Postgres database. I will be using the URL list. To use Superbase, which uses a standard Postgres process, is almost identical using local Postgres. There is one major change. Superbase requires SSL uses connection instead of URL. Instead, so read the parameters. Here is how to use it. First, I will have to connect to Superbase before working with Docker. But before that, I need to take a break. Just a break of 1 minute, 1 to 5 minutes, then I will come back to it. So I will do that then. So I'm back. So as I said, I need to create the Superbase database and then connect this application to Superbase. Connect the database to Superbase. So after doing that, I can now Dockerize it. I can use Docker. Yeah, then after connecting to Superbase, I can use Docker. So, and then I can also, I have to make sure my Docker image connects to the Superbase. Let me go to this, and then let me open Superbase here. I already have an account in Superbase. Superbase. Let me sign in. I like the UI of Superbase. It's super clean and easy. Okay, let me try this project, and then I need to create a database. So I have 0 database. Let me see how to connect to this first. Connect to this. There are so many methods here. Postgres. Okay, this is how I can connect to this, and this is the password they have given. Not IP version. You use polar or choose IP version or add it. Reset your passwords. You may reset your password in your project database. Okay, I will reset the passwords later. Though they're seen here, this is not the actual database I'll be using. I will reset it because I know I'm on a live stream, so you guys might try to use my password, but anyways, you won't get it, man. Also, I have to put my password here. I have to include my password here. Yeah, so this is how it is. Give the parameters. Is a Postgres database. Postgres is the port. Then this is the host. So the password is supposed to be here. The ideal application with persistent long live connections, such as running on virtual machine or long-standing containers. Okay, there's no problem. Yeah, this is it. I'm supposed to get this connection string. You may reset your password in database setting, but before that, let me try to get these credentials, like the host db. This is the host link. Just hoping it will work. So let me go to my .env, and then instead of using localhost, let me use this host. And then let me go back, and then also I have to get the port. The port is the same. The database is supposed to be Postgres, and the user is also Postgres. The user is Postgres, and the database is Postgres. DB name is Postgres. So the password, I have to change it there. As it is said, I have to change it within the setting. So I have to go to this, and then you use the password to connect directly to your, reset your password. Here I must add this password to your Postgres database, so it might be strong. Okay, just need something. Oh, they refuse this. Okay, my password, let me say oh, you need a stronger password. Why? They need a more stronger password. Yeah. So these guys are so strict about password. I created this simple password. Okay. So this is my password, but I will reset it. I will have to change it because it is on live stream. This is the password. And then what next? Are you sure you're going to connect and work? Let me see running debug mode switch to the environment variable is identified using the default. I just need the confirmation that connected successfully. Yeah, engine install. Let me see. It's let me first cancel and then run it again using air. Can say air and then run. How it will compile and tell me connected successful. Failed to initialize database, got error. Okay, database was live. Authentication failed. So let me see how Postgres does this. DNS host. Go ahead and make sure. Let me see. Important tips. To use Superbase, which uses a standard Postgres SQL, the process is almost identical to using local Postgres DB, but there is one major change. Superbase requires SSL and usually uses connection string instead of separate parameters. Okay, so this is the connection string is supposed to be like this: DB URL. Okay, so I need to just have DB URL and then put it like this. So go ahead and make it very easy for using the DB URL. So DS is equals to get the DB URL and then fallback check if it is empty. Try build it and put. Okay, that is this, and then this is supposed to be the host name. Alright, so I have to change this. Then why do we have GURL? Superbase requires which handle the URL. DB is equal to GURL to yeah. So this thing is I'm supposed to use I don't have to connect that directly. Where is this? So this is this is supposed to be a URL. Yes. Let me go back to it. It's supposed to be like this. Let me create the DB URL first within our .env. Within the .env, I need to have DB URL, which is equals to I have to set up the URL, which is here. They even showed me the DB URL here. Let me go back to this and then this. Go back to connect first. I think I have the URL here, Postgres, and I have to put my password. So here I have to change the password. I think I have to put this password, which is this. Yeah. So I have the DB URL. I need to utilize it here now. Let's see how this is, how the chat is telling us to utilize it. We need to have this, and then this should be the fallback. Let me get the whole of this. Yeah. And then replace our initial connection, which was the local connection. So we have this function to connect. Let me try to comment this. I comment, and then I also need to comment this, and then let me paste this here. So we have this, we have to get the db URL from .env, and then check if the URL is empty. We have to use this. I have to use the fallback. So let's see what next again. What do they need after doing that? After doing that, we have to, let's see, is this new? Then we have to, let's replace our local connection with this. In case the connection fails, then we indicate that yeah, it failed. So let's try to, okay, it's building along. Let's see, let's wait. What next? Let's wait whether it will connect to the database or not. Oh, connected to Superbase. We are good to go. But the way this warnings I'm seeing, select description mode, I think is also creating it's trying to migrate whatever thing I have here. So I'm officially connected to Superbase database. I'm officially connected. So as I was saying, what I'm building here is I'm trying to connect to Superbase, but the reason why I'm connected to Superbase, I've already laid out all the foundation, so I will not be experimenting again. What I want to be doing is I want to change the whole of this code into a service that I will utilize later within my application focus flow, so that this actually will be the core service, and I will remove all the routes that I've created. So what I will do is I will add rate limiting, I will add workers. Rate limiting, I will add it with Redis, and then I will add workers with I will add workers with RabbitMQ, and then also use RabbitMQ for intercommunication between this service and the auth service. So that's why I'm going professional with this. After this, so why I'm connecting to Superbase is I want to use Postgres that is in Superbase, and then I want to deploy this into a Docker container. After containerizing this, I want to configure a CI/CD pipeline with GitHub Action that builds the Docker image and deploys in EC2 immediately. I already have the EC2 created, so that today it will be like the day of configuring the service, and then tomorrow I will be writing a lot of documentation such as the PRD of that application. After writing the PRD, that is the project requirements document. After writing the project requirements document, I will create the user stories. I will try to break it down into tasks, and then I will put it in Jira, and then boom, work begins there. So I'm so happy I connected to Postgres, and let me verify there. I connected to Postgres that is in Superbase. Yeah, I've done a lot. I feel like I'm now in flow state. I'm now in flow state because things are going smoothly. Okay. So though I'm in flow state, there are issues, but no problem. Issues are done helping me to go into flow. Let's see, they say that there's a connection to database. So let me see, performance. Table public users, okay, is public, but no, I already have a table. So the table has reached here. Issue needed, okay. So I think I need a way of viewing this table. Yeah, I see, as I can see here that there is a table. There's a table here. Let me see, database. That is Postgres. Let me see, create a read replica. Superbase is super base. It's super nice and super good to work with. That's why its name started super. This is real Superbase. It's like RDS from Amazon. And what I like from this is cheaper. It's cheap, and you have it is even you have free. Let's say you have a free one. You have to use it for free until your application scales. Then you have to start paying. So this is the user this is the table that we created. It was a user with such this. So yeah, that user is just for testing, but I'm going to delete it after some time, and I will even change the credentials. I'm just leaving it for this video, for this live stream. But if you feel like you want to use my password, that cannot happen. I will change the password. So I connected to Superbase. Let me verify it works in the API. Let's say let me try to call the create. I'll call the create link. Still getting 404 with this link. I don't know why, but let me call the index. They're also giving me 404. Okay. I remember I had a route group. That's user/create, I think. So I added create within a route group. Let me confirm. Is it users or user? I'll go to main cmd main server main.go. So the path is user, and then create user, index user, then search. But create is still giving me hard time. I don't know why it is. And index will work. Are you seeing? The reason why it's delaying because it's fetching from Firebase. It's connecting to cloud. But let me fix the create before I see why is it failing. Okay, user post, and then you have user controller. So let me go to user controller here. And the user controller. Let me go to controllers, user controller. And then this is the create user. Okay, create user. Yeah, it's supposed to work. This search only have one function, right? Create user. Let me see. The main.go. Create user like this. Am I writing wrong spelling or users? Okay, let me see. It was literally create like this. Let me see. 404. Why 404? Why 404? Then I just created index and it worked. User/create. Okay. Let me try to get the spelling. Or maybe I have a function that has the same create. Let me go to main. Let me go to okay. Let me go to this. I feel like it's not. I have not handling the errors very well. Maybe the user is not being created. Go to user controller, and then where I'm creating it, I'm saying new user db, and then if there is this, they call the error, and then return JSON response in case of anything. And then we have create user. Or maybe I'm calling that insert function, but I deleted the function. User controller. Yeah. User controller, this is the user model. Oh, it's not there. The database. Database, I don't have any issues with it. This create method is strange, man. Is it the middleware that is refusing it? Or maybe I'm running a middleware within the route. That's why it's refusing. Go to min.go. Is there any middleware? No middleware. No middleware. No middleware. Post. Okay. I'm too dumb, man. The method is supposed to be post instead of get. I don't know why. I didn't pay attention. I didn't pay enough attention to this. Okay, the user has been created now. So let me switch back to get. I don't know. Am I getting ADHD or? Yeah. So go to users. Let me go to index here. See how Superbase is too fast. I just click create and created the user immediately. Let's see retrieval. Retrieving is also so fast. So let's confirm it within our database inside Superbase. Let's say within this table. Let me refresh the page. That's crazy, man. How can I forget to just change from these little errors in programming can sometimes return you back. Yeah, I have email. This is the scheme of the database. But what I want to view that data. Oh, so he also given a table like this to visualize your data. I like Superbase. Go to table. What is column? No, I need a way of viewing this. I need a way of schema visualization. Okay, this tables function. I need a way of seeing my data. Extension. Oh, it has extension also. PostgreScript now. But I feel like it's supposed to be in table. Or is inside here? Table editor. Okay, let me open this. Oh, okay, yeah. This is it. This is the data that has reached the table. Okay. That's it, man. Oh, at least I've done it. So what I have to do is to dockerize this application now. I need to add it into I need to create a Docker container. After configuring the Docker container, I need to configure the CI/CD pipeline using GitHub Action. Then when I'm done with that, workers using our Go routine and hosting it in RabbitMQ, all this will be done in a real world project. I will not just be experimenting. No, I will be doing it with something that I'm building. Yeah, that is it. Let me take a break of 2 minutes because this is an achievement. back. Let me dockerize this now. Let me dockerize this. I'm pushing harder, man. Today I did a lot. So I feel like just doing and just keep going is the best thing to do, man. Because most of the time when I'm not building a life, let's say you're building yourself. Sometimes when you just achieve something, you say that that is enough, man. I'll just do it tomorrow. But today I'm not feeling that thing. I'm just into the flow. I'm really into the flow. And the reason why I'm into the flow is that what I'm doing is not too difficult and it's not too easy. So if it's too easy, I'll become bored. If it's too difficult, I will have imposter syndrome. So it has to be in the middle. It has to be somehow challenging and somehow easy, so that you can just flow. So yeah, let me now dockerize this. I don't think it will. Let me just tell Gemini now that I configured Superbase. Let me dockerize this. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. So this is what I need to do. This is a multi-stage build. It builds up and go and then moves only the final binary into. Okay. So in Go, they focus on making the bundle size as small as possible. So my Docker container must be as small as possible. So that's why they're using multi-stage build. I have to build the application first after building it, and then you have to start building the binaries. So I don't need to type all these one by one. Let me just get the whole of because building Docker images, you have to, like, let's say to make a Docker container from this, you have to experiment with it first. I'll create this, and then I say there's a Docker file. Yeah, add. So I have all the thing that I need to add is here. So I'm using this to build the application. This is the working directory, and this is then to run Docker build, and then to run the main application. Yeah, that is it. So after having the Docker build file, since your Superbase is external, we remove the DB service. We will simply pass the database URL into the application container. Yeah, so we'll pass the database URL into the application container when we are running this. So another approach I will also use is to use a separate .env file. .env file, and then after run that send that .env file within the other. Yeah, send the .env file within the Docker image. Build the .env within the rest after from private repository. That's when I'm using production. That's my thought process for now. But I need to also have a Docker Compose here. Docker Compose just to manage the Docker images. So since your Superbase is external, so I have to pass my credential like this. So let me create the Docker Compose. I'll create my Docker Compose within here, new file, and then with Docker Compose.yaml. So yeah, I have this. Have this added. After having this added, after having this added, I've gone somewhere. After having this added, Docker Compose added, so I need to put the code needed for it. So this is the code needed. There is the version. This is the services I'm running. Okay, they say Gin Superbase API. That's like the connection service. Since your Superbase is external, remove the DB service and we simply pass. Okay, yeah, this is what we are passing. So let's copy it and let's paste it here. What the hell did I paste? I only just copied that. And copy the whole of the thing. Copy the whole of this and then paste it. Yeah. So I already have this now, this Docker Compose. Then I'm just left with running it and debugging, because debugging is a must. Update this. When your app runs inside Docker container, the root folder is root. That makes sure your min.go handles the environment correctly and load gracefully. Okay. So if you provide the environment variable via Docker Compose, go.env load might fail because the file isn't there, but the app will still work because the variable exists in the OS. Okay. So update your min.go in your Docker if you are already injected by the system. So I have to update this to be like this. I first go. Let me go to min.go and then see what I'm supposed to update. Is in cmd server min.go, and then I think I'm supposed to update this like supposed to update it with dash. Then let me first comment this. Comment this, but the error will also say that why are you removing that. Okay, if your Docker, if in Docker, if the variable are already injected by the system. Okay, so let me keep this aside. Superbase requires SSL. Your DB in your URL looks like this. Yeah, run the following. So let me ask this. How about the error? How about the error variable if we are replacing it? Why am I typing wrong spelling? Replacing it with dash, but I'm not. AI is wise to understand. My boy moving, keep going. Yeah. I will keep going, bro. I will keep going. Today I have to do a lot, man. I have to do a lot. Using blank identifier instead of error is a common pattern in Go. When you want to attempt something but don't want the program to stop or if it fails. So I have to use this. If you want more professional and still do this. How this works. But this is the one that told me that no. Okay, there's no problem. So now let's just I think I have to just run docker compose build, and I have to make sure my docker is open. Let me see. I'll open docker. Yeah, let me open docker. Docker engine has been started, so I can officially build this. Okay. Oh, it's building his moment of truth. Huh? Working with now reaching DevOps, that's where you get a lot of errors and headache. I see the first error is run mode download. Copy this. Go mode requires this. So I have to change the version. Go mode requires go version 2.5. So let me just go to my Docker image and then Docker file and then change the version to that. Where are you? Docker file. So the Go version I need is 2.5.4. Let me run and build again. So after running this, after Docker Compose running, it will also try to connect it will try to set up the env to connect to Superbase. Let's see, this is the moment of truth. I hope everything works, man. I'm not taking this serious by building the service. This is part of the configuration now. Building 7 out of 7. 7 out of 7. 7 out of 7. Just need to see this thing working, man. I just need to see this thing working. This is the vision that I have. This is the end goal that I need. I need to see it working, whether it wants or it doesn't want. I have to do whatever thing that I can do to see you work. After this working, that will be great. That will be so great. Then I will be having space or room to think about CI/CD pipeline using GitHub Action. By the way, this is just to verify that the configuration works. But again, the build is different in CI/CD pipeline. I will just use the same Docker file content to create the YAML file that is used for building the application for production. Why is it taking a lot of time to build? What's going on? What's going on? Oh, we have 15 out of 17. I need to see the bar moving, man. Yeah. 17 out of 18. Unpacking. Ooh. Demon pod are not available. Export to 28. Some binary is already in use. Oh. That's not a big error. That's not a big error. So it's working. What I have to do is if I run it again it will not delay. Now see Docker compose and then okay, instead of using port 8080, what if I change this port to something else so that it cannot be in use anymore? So what I have to do, okay, let me stop this. Yeah, I've stopped that. Then I can just, let's say Docker compose. I need to say down to first kill all the process. Is it Docker compose down? I'm used to composer, man. Supposed to be composed. What the hell am I doing? Docker compose. Warning here. I've closed all the working containers and then Docker compose up again. Up dash build, yeah. Hope this process will be fast because it will be saving the cache, yeah. Then yes. Error loading.env file, yeah. So the application is being built, but I have error loading the .env file. The .env file is not being loaded successfully. But so far the application is working. Let me confirm it in Docker and within the Docker Hub. Where do I have Docker Hub open? Let me open it here, okay. Yeah. I already have a lot like RabbitMQ, Minikube for Kubernetes, Gin Basic. I think it's this. Why on earth did it name it Gin Basic? 58 seconds ago. It's probably this, yeah. That is running on port 8080. Let me see the way that it will work. Localhost port 8080. Yeah. It's working, but it's not just connected to database. Feel me? Let me try ping, okay? Because ping doesn't need connection to database. Damn, it's not. Refuse to connect. Are you sure about that? I'll go back to this again. Oh, maybe it's not running. Let me see. Additional port, let me just run it by default. Error loading.env. I think this error is done making it rush loading.env. Yeah, so I now have something to fix. So let's see. I have error loading.env. we have error when loading .env during image build. Yeah. If you go to your code and use login fatal error which loads the .env, the application will crash inside. And then you need to change the logic and that need to be optional. Oh, we need to make this optional. So how can we make it optional? You're just giving me the same code. We attempt to load .env, but do not use it. In Docker, the variable are injected by system, so the file hasn't. The thing is injected by the system. So what if I have many .env that I need to use also, or many files that I need to use? Okay, there's no way. Okay. Print now.env file form. If .env.load. So I have to just use this. I have to change my connection in min.go. I have to change the configuration in min.go to add option if there is no min. Nasty the code. I did something bad here. I'm not supposed to use that dash. Like this. So with this, I hope we are well armed to run this document because after build. The good thing is saving the cache so it will not delay. I'm praying, man, this should work. This should build and work. If it works, what a day. Then it will be like, today everything that I've done is working correctly. Starting from the first project I was building in the morning, I didn't debug a lot. It was not frustrating. Today also, doing Docker, compiling and building Docker image, there's nothing, no complication, no debugging issues, no debugging nightmares, no frustration. Everything is moving smoothly. That's good, man. I'm kind of used to a lot of debugging, so I've become more resilient within the years that I use for coding. The years I spent coding made me more resilient to debugging. I think it altered the way I think. It altered the way I view things. So I'm hoping for success here. The prime agent is currently live. Imagine my stream is only like, is it 3 to 2 people watching right now? But the prime agent, imagine, is 2 point something K watching. Man. The prime time. Oh, okay. His YouTube is called the prime time. The guy is a great developer. Very, very great developer. I think he will be going live with this guy called GG, or these are among the great developers, man. I think they worked in Frank, and they had their own companies. They have their own companies right now. But I feel like this guy is focusing more on on teaching aspect rather than but I don't know, I can't tell, man. Can't tell. What's going on? The build is kind of delaying, but I hope there's success there. Oh, the build is taking long. While it's taking long, let me just have some time to relax. By the way, you can manage your Kubernetes clusters within this too. But they're all experimental. Hey, you can use kubectl. kubectl is like is a command line tool you use for managing your Kubernetes. You can either have Kubernetes cluster in the cloud, and then you just use kubectl to manage it. Maybe you can say kubectl create deployment. Deployment is like how can I compare it with? Deployment is it's just like you have a Docker container that is inside the deployment. It's like you're deploying a Docker container, so you can create as many deployment as you want. And then let's say you want to update your application, you can do something called roll update. And the roll update is like this. I can say kubectl just roll out the deployment. And then what it will do, it will replace the Docker images slowly by slowly. So you will not feel like there's downtime. So that's why Kubernetes, you have zero downtime. Zero downtime means that your application will never go down for even a second, because you have many replicas. That's with the deployment. Kubernetes is kind of nice. I can't wait to join that free certification. I already have some background in it. I did a lot of, I think since last year, I focused on DevOps, and I started from project management. I know project management is not part of DevOps, but I had to do it. I learned a lot about project management. I learned about working with Jira. I learned about Scrum, and that is the agile methodology. Scrum. I worked with the Scrum, and then I worked with also that's it, the Scrum board. So let's go back to the application now. Fail to initialize database, code error, fail to connect to the Postgres. That is called Postgres. So everything is working, but now the problem is from our .env because it's failing. Not .env, but from Docker Compose. Let's see what are we missing. Let me see what I'm missing. Let's see what I'm missing. What is happening? Okay, it's back. Oh, my screen just powered off, but it's not back. And go back to the live stream. Today I have overworked my CPU. Yeah. Let me see the Docker Compose. I see the configuration for the database. Oh, I added the DB URL here. And then the container name, that's the container name. And then the env is not there, it is just skipping it, so the DB URL is here. So why is it failing to connect to this? Let me see, the DB has been acknowledged, but I think the problem is this. Let me see. Yeah, in software engineering, everything is about problem solving. It doesn't matter the skills you have, but the most important skill is how do you solve a problem, because you cannot escape a problem in software engineering. I say got this error while running during Docker build. Docker image build. The error is happening because Docker build process is trying to execute database connection during compilation stage or running immediately after without the environment variable being set correctly. Specifically, GORM is defaulting to user first because it hasn't found the superbase. The root cause is why the Postgres cause. Fix that. You need to ensure that the app doesn't just guess the connection at or check if the string is empty before it does. String, you need to ensure that the app doesn't just guess the connection. Add a check to see if the string is empty before trying to open the connection. Check your Docker file. Okay. A common mistake is putting a command in Docker file that triggers the app logic during the build. It should only be in the binary. Check the end of your Docker file. It should look like this. The end of my Docker file is not looking like that. The end of my Docker file is exposing this port, and see if this execute only when the Docker run now. Compose app. How do I Docker compose? Yeah, this is everything I have. Verify your .env file, make sure it is located in the same folder as Docker compose actually contain the key. Then the same folder. Summary. The app starts either via run command or Docker. Fail because the .env is ignored. Or the database returns empty. before I try to use the default. Would you like me to check if the Docker file, if there is run command accidentally triggered? Yeah. Let me paste the Docker file to check if we accidentally run the. So even Gemini is confused. It doesn't have one correct answer. So let's see. This is the Docker file. Your Docker file looks perfect and follows the best practice for multi-stage. However, since you are getting that database error, it confirms that the problem is not in the build itself, but however the environment variables are being passed or not passed when the container starts. Because .env is inside a Docker ignore, which it should, the file does not exist. Okay, yeah. So therefore your app depends entirely on. I even understood the solution. Our .env is in the Docker. It doesn't know. It is in Docker ignore, and then our application depends on this. So the Docker image needs the .env. The solution is to update your Docker Compose. To fix this, the error must ensure that Docker Compose is pulling the variable from the local machine and injecting it into the container. So variable and injecting it into the container file. This is it. Environment file. This explicitly map the environment file from this to the Docker container. If you still see the error after updating the YAML, this usually means that one of the variable name is matched. Double check the error. So I have to just, what I have to do is I have to include the .env in the YAML file. Let me see my Docker compose.yaml. I already have it here. Or you can hard code them here. Let me try to release this and put it here. And then see the difference. It's kind of the same. Okay, let me see. Service. Up, context, Docker file. And then it's running this, and then the URL. No, there's not any difference. At least, let me just see. This explicitly map the variable from shell file to the container. Let me try again, but I hope it doesn't delay while I'm looking for the real solution. So it was telling me to do this, and I did it. While the error is still having, if you still see the error, use the file exactly .env. Add your Go code, uses the noise. The shell doesn't try running this command. Final check, okay. Try running this command to force the build with the environment variable. Export this Docker Compose. Okay, I can use this command to put this. Final, make sure your config handles the string so it doesn't goes wrong. Okay, I'm feeling like this will succeed. So let's wait and see what it will do. this thing delays. Let's see what is happening. I think I have to wrap up the stream from here, and then I'll continue while I'm outside the stream. And go to the stream. I don't know what is happening to it here. Yeah. We just stop it. I think I have to stop the stream from here. I will continue again outside. I will continue outside the stream, but you know where we are going.